They showed the country yet once again just how truly out of touch they are with everyday Americans. They repeatedly acted like petulant children. Democratic Congressman Al Green even had himself thrown out of the House chamber for that outburst before, of course, announcing he was
a very emotional and childish outburst. Like you're acting like freaking children, but y'all control parts of our country. Fuck, where are we at here?
Working on articles of impeachment. What a shock. Here we go again, as if this wasn't predictable. Take a look.
Healthcare has become wealth care for many people, and we can't afford to let that happen.
Is that the only thing that you're protesting?
No, I have other things I'm protesting. And I'm also working on my articles of impeachment. This president is unfit. He should not hold the office.
Again?
That's right. He is unfit for the office. That means Green. Anyway, his little temper tantrum did not go over well with you, the American people. Even fake news CNN had a poll. 80% of viewers there found his behavior to be inappropriate. According to the same CNN poll, nearly 70% of the people that watched approve of what President Trump said, while a CBS poll was even better for the president, revealing 76% of Americans approved of this address. And when you dive deep into the issues, it gets even better for President Trump. 77% of people that watched the speech approved of President Trump's plans for addressing waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption in government spending. 77% approved of his plans for immigration and the border.
Like, bro, if you don't have TDS, even if you're a liberal, even if you could never dream to yourself voting for Trump, you could sit there and agree that, yeah, our government does do wasteful spending, and I'd like that to be looked into. Yeah, the border is a problem, and I like that to stop. Republican, conservative, liberal, Democrat, it don't matter. We can all sit there and agree, like, yeah, this needs to be fixed. Actually, I take that back. Maybe not the immigration part, because y'all was cool. Y'all was like riding high with them sanctuary cities, thinking y'all was doing something for these people, but really they were just spitting in y'all face. And the American government was letting them do it. They were letting them do it to you.
73% approved of his plans for Russia and Ukraine. 65% approved of his plans on tariffs, which are reciprocal. But the Democrats, their unhinged behavior, it started before President Trump even began his speech. Earlier in the day, a truly...
And that's what I'm saying. Like, well, I think I watched one of these. I watched the one that Bernie Sanders did, and this one other lady did. And it was that one white lady, bro. I'm sorry, but... Bro, she literally came on there talking about, yeah, I'm a CIA. Yeah, I was recruited by the CIA. I used to work for Bush and Obama. But let me tell you why Trump is just so evil. And I'm going like, hold on. Why are we just going to ignore the fact that you just made yourself sound like the biggest deep state asset, the biggest CIA asset? You just kind of pointed that out, period, point blank, and we're just going to listen to what you say about Trump? I don't know about that one, but okay.
Bizarre, strange, awkward display of dozens of prominent Democrats simultaneously, seemingly, posting a video on social media attacking the president while using the exact same format, the exact same script. You can't make this up. Take a look.
He's like, y'all couldn't have got different fucking writers? Like, bro, what? Y'all telling me y'all couldn't have all got some different writers? I don't know, reword this a little better. It's like y'all all get an F for plagiarism. Actually, y'all done. Y'all kicked out. What is this? It's like y'all plagiarize each other's speech or something. Like what? Well, y'all all wrote a speech and y'all just say, no, we're just gonna go with the best one. In the words of Soulja Boy, word for word, bar for bar.
To lower costs for you.
You really can't make this up. Contrary to what the Democrats said, President Trump delivered an incredibly powerful, uplifting speech, highlighting his policies that will make our country stronger while celebrating everyday Americans with very heartwarming stories. But still, the Democrats, they couldn't even bring themselves to applaud or stand for any of it. They couldn't bring themselves to stand for Alexis Nungary, whose 12-year-old daughter was brutally murdered by two unvetted Biden-Harris illegals. They didn't stand when President Trump honored Laken Riley and her family, another young woman murdered at the hands of Biden-Harris unvetted illegals, her poor mother fighting back tears before the entire country. They refused to applaud a young man who lost his father and now is able to fulfill his dream. He found out last night he was accepted to West Point. Couldn't stand for that. They stayed seated when the president honored the life of slain officer Jonathan Diller. He was killed in the line of duty in New York City.
Can you imagine how some of these people felt not seeing these people stand up? It's like, what's wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Like that's what I'm saying. Like the Democrat Party, I mean, y'all gonna recover, but yeah, we're gonna remember this. When it comes 2018, this is gonna be one of the things that I'm gonna replay during that election. I'm gonna be like, hey, y'all remember where we was recognizing all these great people who've been through like very tragic things or who've done very good things in our country, and you remember how they just didn't stand for a minute, they just sat down and piss and moan about Trump. Like, y'all remember that? Is that the type of party we want running our country? The people who can't even just kumbaya over, the achievements of fellow Americans, or, just sit there and, grief over the tragedies of fellow Americans. But okay. No.
That's his young wife on the screen there. They didn't stand when the president honored Corey Campertor, who sacrificed his life to protect his family during the shooting at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. They refused to applaud Mark Fogel, his 95-year-old mother, who he was held hostage. President Trump made a promise he would bring her son home, and held hostage in Russia until Trump secured his release, something Biden was incapable of doing. And maybe worst of all, they stayed seated and silent when a brave 13-year-old boy who...
I ain't gonna lie. All right, hey, shout out that little man, me Muggy. He's like, man, what you about to do? But anyway, though, adorable. But anyway, though, ain't that crazy? My man was able to come back home in time to see his mom. They couldn't stand for that. Oh, bro, it's so crazy though. But they was able to find some lesbian basketball player who won't even kneel for the national anthem and bring her back. And guess what we gave for her? A fucking arms dealer. But and guess we get the arms dealers too? Russia. But that's not Russia collusion. I mean, okay, well, all right. If you say so.
Worst of all, they stayed seated and silent when a brave 13-year-old boy who beat cancer, had been battling cancer since he was 8, whose life's dream it was to enter law enforcement, was made an honorary member of the Secret Service by Sean Curran, the new leader of the Secret Service. At one point, Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell even appeared, look at that, to roll her eyes while the president, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell even appeared, look at that, to roll her eyes while the president honored him. This is your modern day. Take a good look. This is your modern day radicalized, soulless Democratic Party. At their core, they hate Donald Trump so much that you couldn't show compassion for mothers that lost their children because of illegal immigrants, or a child that beat brain cancer.
I mean, and real with you, when it comes to the deaths caused by illegal immigrants, I think they got to play that off. That's the only way their conscience can deal with that. I mean, you enacted policies that got Americans killed. Like, bro, how do you sleep at night? Oh, I know how, by completely neglecting the reality that you guys did this. That's the only way they can sleep at night in my eyes, because I could never.
Now, what are we looking at as a country? A party that is defeated, a party that is dead, a party that is heartless, and a party that is soulless. They represent everything that is radical and extreme. They stood up in unison earlier this week for the right of men to play women's sports, but they can't be bothered for loved ones who lost family members. Now, in fairness, they did eventually find one thing to stand and clap for last night. More. We've already spent hundreds of billions. They want more billions for the war in Ukraine and endless wars to continue. Take a look at this moment between President Trump and Elizabeth Warren, who he affectionately calls Pocahontas. Take a look.
The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense, with no security, with no anything.
And shout out to my man Fire, and he says they act like that because the left is at war while the right is participating in politics. I mean, yeah, I can agree to that. And shout out Fire, man. Hey, yo, guys, appreciate the support, by the way, man. Y'all are showing out. Man, 150 y'all in here, man. Do me a favor. Double tap that the screen, like the video. Let's get more people on the conversation and subscribe to the channel, guys. Also, if you have any questions, comments, disagreements, go ahead and send in a $2 super chat. I'll read it out loud, interact with it, and post it to the top of the screen, just like my man Fire Ant up there, man. Shout out Fire Ant. Take a hot seat, all right.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah. You would say Pocahontas says yes.
Hey, yo, you want to go to war for another 5 years? Yeah, Pocahontas will wave her head like, yes. If it's for Ukraine, it's yes, you should. I'm like, oh, God. It's like, really, I really do want to hear these people defend their stance. It's like, yo, do you not want to stop this war or not? At least he clapped.
Really? You're going to oppose the end of death and destruction and an attempt at peace in Europe, peace in the Middle East? That's soul. That's what I mean when I say soulless, heartless, mean-spirited, out of touch. And they showed their true colors last night. And their behavior was so despicable. Even some members of the liberal media, legacy media mob are agreeing with me. Take a look.
What we saw, the theatrics tonight in the chamber, are not being well received.
The Democrats came ready to fight back with their little paddles, okay? That is how you save democracy, by quietly dissenting or bidding on an antique tea set. It was hard to tell what was going on.
I will say, I think there were times when they should have risen. I think what Al Green did was despicable.
How they gonna snatch it back, Michael, when they holding up bingo or auction signs?
I was gonna say, thank you, Simone.
Can we talk about it?
The bingo signs were killing me. I don't know who's thought up the bingo signs, but they should be fired.
Michael, this is an indictment, in my opinion,
And they should have just stood the hell up.
on the Democratic leadership.
Now, while some in the media acknowledge the disaster that unfolded for Democrats, others over at MSDNC, they chose to hit another new low, mocking the ceremony that honored this young child that beat cancer. Take a look at this. Just take this in.
For the record, and this is disgusting, the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who's
We was realizing his dream. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? He wanted to be a policeman. We made him a policeman. We gave him the fast forward treatment, and now we're despicable. Now he's just, all right. This man, yep, you're right. I mean, bro, this is complete kind-hearted action. I mean, they're doing this to realize a sick kid's dream, and y'all are making it about politics, or y'all are making it about Trump. This is not even about Trump anymore. This is about just celebrating this young man, and you're making it about Trump. You guys are despicable at this point. Y'all have no right to speak on Trump at this point, because y'all can't even sit there and celebrate a fellow American. Y'all can't sit there, fellow Americans, help them celebrate or help them grieve, even when y'all are the ones who are causing them to grieve through y'all policy.
who's thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the president had something to do with that. This was in the midst of him praising Doge. The Doge cuts, among other things, have cut off funding for ongoing research into pediatric cancer.
And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. Yeah. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters.
Yo, are you serious? That was not the time to make a January 6th joke. Are you fucking... Oh, shit! Oh, shit! All right, she took me out the game with that one. I can't even believe it. I thought this was about to be a moment of, like, you know, stability, this moment of like kumbaya. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's celebrate this young man and all that. Now you want to make it about January 6th. Well, I hope he's never defending the Capitol from Trump. It's like, are you serious? Like, yeah, that wasn't the hit you thought it was, sis. Well, let's move past this mean white lady talking.
And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
And I miss the nice white lady, man. I almost want to go back to her, but hey, we got to keep the show going, right?
And Nicole, didn't you vote for the candidate that supported the 574 riots, or maybe you call them insurrections in the summer of 2020? You know, Nicole, the ones that killed dozens and dozens of Americans, injured thousands of police officers, pelted with bricks, rocks, bottles, Molotov cocktails, the riots that caused billions in property damage, the riots that your candidate said that they won't stop, shouldn't stop, and she wouldn't stop supporting the rioters. Make no mistake, last night was a disgusting display from a bunch of soulless people with no message, no direction, no morals. Even the party's, quote, leaders participated in this. And despite the Democratic Party and their pathetic efforts, well, Donald Trump continues to deliver for the American people, reiterating his threat to the terrorist group Hamas regarding hostages. He's saying it is, quote, over for you and there will be hell to pay if they do not release the bodies and the hostages, in a new message on Truth Today.
All right. Yeah, he's stamping that. But, you know, we all know how Trump feels about Israel now. But all right, guys, let's get into the next video, an interview with Marco Rubio.
Last night, President Trump said he had received some outreach from Ukrainian President Zelensky. Sounds like he's ready to get back to the negotiating table. Let's take a look.
Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine.
And shout out my man, Skip Dreadman. He says, I've been at war. Funding a war isn't being in one. Yeah, I'll give you that one. You're right. Funding a war isn't being in one. But guess what? If we're not funding it, you're not going to be in it, my friend. So, shoot, I get both sides of the argument. Trust me. But hold on, wait. I'm sorry, but yo, Skip, what is the argument? Like, I know he said I've been at war, and funding a war isn't being in one. Well, what are you trying to say, my friend? I'm a bit confused.
Maintained its sovereignty and independence regarding the agreement on.
Oh, no, appreciate the support, by the way, though. Let me go ahead and give you a shout out. Shout out my man Skip. Just please explain that super chat, though, for me. All right, let's go.
Minerals and security. Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time.
Oh,
that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he's
okay. Now it just makes it a banger point. It's like I'm weak. He's like, the Democrats are not at war, but they definitely be funding these wars. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean,
sent this letter, just got it a little while ago.
This, as President Trump has temporarily cut off military funding to and intelligence sharing with Ukraine, but those moves could be reversed very soon. Here with the very latest, our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
I mean, I guess it was Ash Wednesday yesterday, was it not? All right, yeah, happy Ash Wednesday. Damn, I need to text my Catholic homies.
With us, Mr. Secretary, good to have you. Thank you for being with us. You were in the room last Friday. It was somewhat surreal. And I said on Friday, and I think I've been proven correct, that he will be back. And that letter and that post on X yesterday said everything that I think needed to be said to get this.
And Skip, oh, yeah, thank you for your service. Wait, hold on. I remember you. I think I remember you now. But yeah, Skip, appreciate the service, my friend.
Thing back on track. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the important thing to understand about last Friday is not last Friday. It's everything that led up to it. It's been very clear from the beginning that President Trump views this as a protracted, stalemated conflict. And frankly, it's a proxy war between nuclear powers, the United States helping Ukraine and Russia. And it needs to come to an end. And no one has any idea or any plan to bring it to an end. The plan of the Ukrainians up to now and their allies on Capitol Hill and the people you talk to in other countries is let's just keep giving them as much as they need for as long as it takes. That's not a strategy. On the Russian side, obviously, they struggled early on in this conflict. They're a bigger country. They've made some progress, but by no means are the Russians running away with it either. So it's a stalemated conflict. This was explained to everybody. And it was made very clear. All the president's trying to do here is figure out is there's a path towards peace. We have to engage both sides, the Russians and the Ukrainians, and we ask the Ukrainians not to sabotage it. When the vice president made the point that it's going to take diplomacy to get things like this solved, President Zelensky, unfortunately, made the decision to challenge the vice president and start questioning whether diplomacy is even possible. In essence, sabotaging and undermining the president's plan. And so that led to the dust up. I'm glad to see that there's been a reconsideration of that position, because I truly believe that this is a conflict that we need to find a way to end. And it's going to require concessions from both sides. But we have to get them both to the table. The Ukrainians have to be there. Obviously, it's their country. The Russians have to be at that table. And only President Trump can make that possible. That's been the goal. That remains the goal. And that's what we're focused on now.
Okay. And you're right. It's been a stalemate, but it's been a stalemate of hundreds of billions of hard-earned taxpayer dollars.
Correct.
And this is not going to go on in perpetuity. And there won't be a country left. And how many more people have to die? How many people died from last Friday to today, for example? So my understanding is Putin said he is willing to get into a negotiated settlement. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, look, I mean, we met with them 2 weeks ago, and the point of our meeting with them was very simple. Are you interested in talking about ending this war or not? Because there can't really be much of a change with our relationship as long as this war is going on. Their answer was, we are interested in talking about it. We now need to follow up. It's hard to follow.
How are y'all interested about talking about ending the war if you're not interested about talking with Putin? How did you suspect to end the war without talking to Putin? That's what I'd have to ask Zelensky. I'm like, well, we can't trust Putin. I'm like, well, bro, how are this gonna end then? We have to work with Putin. That's the whole thing. You said you was ready for peace. I thought that in your mind that would connect. I gotta work with Putin. I thought in Zelensky's mind, I thought we'd all think rational people. Like, yeah, if you're coming to talk about peace, that means you're gonna have to work with Putin. I mean, you're not doing peace talks with us. You ain't fighting us. If you was, there wouldn't be no peace talks.
Follow up when the other side of the conflict is saying they're not interested in peace at all. And that was the message that was coming across. Hopefully that's been corrected. I hope that's going to be corrected more clearly. And then I think that opens the door to figure out whether this is possible. By the way, this should be a mystery to no one. The president, when he was a candidate and he was running, he said very clearly this is a war that never would have happened. And I believe that to be true had he been president, and we need to bring it to an end. He's working to become, he wants to be a peacemaker. Usually, and I made this point in multiple interviews, usually people are happy when our president, the president of the most powerful country in the world, is looking to prevent wars and to end wars. Somehow when it's Donald Trump that's doing it, it's somehow a horrible thing. So as I've said, it's important for us to understand we are blessed and fortunate to have a president that is looking to bring an end, if possible, to a conflict that's cost billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of lives and destruction that'll take a generation for Ukrainians and others to be able to recover from.
I watched you in a couple of interviews, and it frustrates me. Call him an evil dictator thug. Nobody's disagreeing. But at this point, if you want to get a negotiated settlement, that was tried for 4 years by Joe Biden. At this point, it's time to hit the reset button. Would that deal be a mineral deal first that would ensure U.S. presence and also money for Ukraine to rebuild their country? Would the second phase be a ceasefire? Would the third phase be the negotiated settlement? Does that sound about right to you?
Well, I'm not going to pre-negotiate it. Look, at the end of the day, the Ukrainians are going to have their demands. The Russians are going to have theirs. We have to see how far apart they are if we get to that point in the process. And that's where diplomacy, that's what the vice president's point was. That's where diplomacy kicks in. That's where the hard work of diplomacy comes into play, when you have to figure out how do you bridge this difference. But this is not unique to this crisis. It's what we're going through right now with Hamas and Israel and Gaza. It's what's taken every war and every conflict that's ended in a truce, a ceasefire, whatever, a peace plan, has all been the result of the hard work of diplomacy, of bridging those differences. But we have to begin that process, and you can only do it if both sides are willing to do it. The Russians, look, they're not going to be easy to deal with either, right? But we have to figure out what.
All right, yeah, we do have a breaking news though. Yeah, Speaker Mike Johnson has been arrested for a DUI. I know, right? A DUI. I guess my man had a little bit too much for the Trump rally. That happens.
They're willing to do by getting them to the table. We couldn't do that if the Ukrainians are saying that they're not interested. Now that's changed, and hopefully that's true. And so I think the opening is now there to see what's possible, and it would be in the benefit of everyone: the Russian people, the people of Ukraine, the people of the United States, frankly, our European partners and allies. It would be to their benefit as well to see this come to an end. But there's only one person on the planet that can make that happen, and his name is Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States. And we should be cheering that on, and we should be supporting that, not undermining it or calling it names the way some are doing in the media and some are doing internationally.
I want to put up on the screen Truth Social earlier today. President Trump, release all the hostages now, not later. Immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I am sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages. By the way, I ran into them in D.C. as well. Their stories are harrowing. Whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also, the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Wow. I guess that's.
And I guarantee you by tomorrow, what's today? The 5th? Oh, yeah. Hamas woke up to that and they're like, yeah, let's release these damn prisoners. Okay, releasing all hostages. Trump did say he's going to take us all out. He damn near told us to leave the damn country. Then they just might. But all right, though, let's get into this quick little, video about, Speaker Mike Johnson getting that DUI. And shout out to one of the naysayers in the chat. I know you're a disagreeer, but hey, I do appreciate you for sharing that knowledge or sharing that breaking news.
Right now, we are following breaking news from Capitol Hill. House Speaker Mike Johnson's chief of staff is facing DUI charges.
U.S. Capitol Police tell us Hayden Haynes was arrested last night. They say he backed into a parked Capitol Police vehicle around 11:40. This is after the president's joint address to Congress. No one was hurt, but there was some damage to that Capitol Police vehicle.
Other news.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
Right now, we are following breaking news from Capitol Hill. House Speaker Mike Johnson's chief of staff is facing DUI charges.
U.S. Capitol Police tell us Hayden Haynes was arrested last night. They say he backed into a parked Capitol Police vehicle.
Who the hell is Hayden Haynes? Hold on, Hayden Haynes. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I was about to say, hold on. How does the speaker, like one of the most powerful people in the damn country, most important people in the damn country, is driving his own car? Like, that don't even make sense. And he's leaving a political event driving his own car? When does that ever happen? So that's why okay. Wow. The way the media will try to spin this is crazy. Look, okay, guys, hear what they're saying.
Right now, we are following breaking news from Capitol Hill. House Speaker Mike Johnson's chief of staff is facing DUI charges.
U.S. Capitol Police tell us Hayden Haynes was arrested.
The Capitol, Hayden Haynes. I mean, it was his driver who backed into a car who pretty much said, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro, you drunk? And they're trying to frame it as if Mike Johnson's the one getting brought up on DUI charges. How? He's not driving.
Last night, they say he backed into a parked Capitol Police vehicle around 11:40. This is after.
Fake news. All right, they got it. They almost had us with that one.
It's pretty clear and unambiguous, and I think both of us know President Trump well enough. He means it.
Bro,
what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, hopefully that's
what I'm saying, Skip. I'm like, bro, chief of staff, like, he's not driving his own vehicle. It's like, what? After a political event? No, bro. That don't even make sense.
They're going to do exactly what he just said. You know how long we've been waiting for a long time in this country to have the kind of leadership with that kind of clarity. People don't realize the president meets with these people. He hears their stories. He's outraged, and rightfully so. He's tired of watching these videos every weekend where hostages that are emaciated are released and bodies are turned over. And sometimes it's the wrong bodies, and this 5 here and 3 there, and these games that are being played. And he's lost his patience with it. He's been very clear about this from the beginning. He's created space and time for this to be solved. And now it's time for seeing it come to an end. It's enough of this already. These people have been in captivity now for over 1.5 years. These are monsters. It needs to stop. And you know, I wish there were more international pressure along the same lines here. But I'm glad he's putting those statements out. I think he doesn't say these things and not mean it, as folks are finding. out around the world. If he says he's going to do something, he'll do it. He'll do it.
My bad, guys. Just have to make a quick correction. It was like, all right, so House Speaker Mike Johnson's chief of staff arrested for DUI after Trump's speech. So the chief of staff, that is the guy who, got arrested. And that is, well, a we do not care situation. I mean, well, come on now. We're more focused on the people who's actually moving the pieces here.
We do not care.
So the fact that they had to make news, and it's mostly, left-leaning media, NBC News, CBS, the New York Times, Politico, yeah. Top Johnson aide arrested for DUI. I mean, so what is that? Oh, hey, at least it ain't Pete Hegseth. They'd had a field day with that one.
Do it, and so they better take that seriously.
You were in the chamber last night. You saw the Democrats with the little temper tantrum. What was your reaction to it all?
Well, I think it's bizarre anytime you're announcing that some young man has gotten into the U.S. Army Academy, when you announce that a young boy who's survived brain cancer has been made a Secret Service deputy. These are usually things that people, when the first ladies announce, these are usually things that people stand up and clap for, and whether you like the person who's speaking as president or not. To see that not happen last night was kind of shocking, to be honest with you. It was really surprising and petty, and I don't think it played well, but, I'm a diplomat now, but I can tell you this. I didn't think it looked good on television. And I've heard from a lot of people who didn't think it looked good either. The president talked about ending a war yesterday. And instead, the only cheers we heard from one side of the chamber was cheers for endless war and continuing to move forward. These are bizarre things. We live in bizarre times. But I'm glad we have a president with moral clarity in Donald J. Trump.
Oh, we're glad you were where you are. Although I'm not going to lie, I kind of liked you as my senator in Florida. I got to be honest. I got to be straight.
Well, you're in good hands. You're still in good hands. Yeah.
I know. I agree. Anyway, Secretary.
Yeah, and like I said, it was disgraceful. Like I